In this video, we're taking an in-depth look at this peculiar 1971 Corvette. Now, if you're a Corvette guy, you're already shaking your head at those wheels that are on this car because they are not correct for a 71 Corvette or any C3 Corvette for that matter. But I have a sneaky suspicion that this car actually left the dealership with these wheels on it. This thing is really cool, and I'm glad I had the chance to dig in a little bit deeper on it, do a little bit of research on this thing, and enjoy, just kind of going into nerd mode when it came to looking up part numbers and serial numbers and casting numbers and things like that to confirm that this is the original 365 horse 454 and the original carburetor, the original everything on this car. It's got an M24 speed in it. It is pretty legit. It's had a few little things done to it. It's had electronic ignition. It's got an aluminum radiator in it. But otherwise, this thing is pretty much original. And there is paperwork in there that shows that the engine was rebuilt. A few other things were addressed, the new clutch, new brakes, new things like that. But overall, this car's never been completely taken apart. Even the one repaint that it's had, that was a body-on situation. I don't think they even took the hood off or anything. This thing was kind of like a Mako type paint job, but it does have some great options. It's a 454 car, LS5. It's got air conditioning. It's got a 4-speed in it. It's a good combination of options. And, the interior's in great shape considering the age. It's not been restored. You can see a little bit of wear and tear on the seat. But overall, it is a very, very well-preserved car. My favorite part about this car is how nicely it runs and drives. This thing fires up super easily. Sits there and idles perfectly. That quadrijet is tuned in nicely, and everything works. It's pretty awesome. Even the fiber optics down here, these little fiber optic lights, they all work. See, I've got my foot on the brake. When I let off, those lights go off. That's pretty rare to find one of these cars where all of that works. And that leads me to believe that this thing was not messed with a whole lot. I don't think somebody has restored this car. I think that it's just been a good car that got a quick paint job. So, pretty neat piece. Glad I've got to fool with it a little bit and learn a little bit more about it. It's been a fun little project. It's sunflower yellow, which is a really rare color in 1971. Only 1,177 of these cars were built in this color out of the 21,801 cars that were built in 1971. So it's a really rare combination, and it's made even more rare by the very peculiar wheel situation. The original purchase order, and this car was ordered through Mission Chevrolet in California, the original purchase order, which is all handwritten as far as the options are concerned, it has 4 mag knockoff wheels listed on that purchase order. And my theory is that either Mission Chevrolet had a set of these sitting around in the service center, or maybe they contacted another local dealership and got their hands on a set of these KELSEY Hayes wheels to make the sale on this car for the owner. And just take a look at the condition of these wheels. They are in excellent shape, and all 4 of them have been removed off of the car, and they are legitimate KELSEY Hayes wheels. They've got the casting number in there. They're not Westerns. They're not reproductions. These are legit. And oddly enough, the rears are date stamped in 1968, which kind of adds to the confusion here because these wheels were originally manufactured in 65 and 66. And it kind of looks odd on this car because they're 6 inches wide. And of course, any C3 Corvette from 69 to 82 would have had 8-inch wide wheels on it. So it just doesn't really have the right stance. But I wanted to show this to you and talk a little bit more about it and go in depth when it comes to the overall look of this car and some of those odd options, and especially those odd KELSEY Hayes wheels. So here's some of the paperwork for this thing. Got the owner's manual, which it doesn't really say much, but this is a pretty neat piece. This is the purchase order, and you can see that the guy who ordered this, Thomas Earl Davis, bought it from Mission Chevrolet Company in San Gabriel, California. There's all the options. 4 seasons, air conditioning, let's see, 454, 365, tilt wheel, power steering, F70 tires, alarm system, AM/FM stereo, black leather interior, and there it is, 4 mag knockoff wheels. Now this is just handwritten. There's no RPO codes, there's no dollar amount associated with this, so you can't really tell much about it, but that's a clue to what's going on here. Okay, so curiosity got the best of me. I was gonna try to remove this spare tire carrier, which is kind of a pain. I was gonna try to remove that so I could get to the gas tank and maybe see if this thing has a build sheet in it, but I found something better inside of here. I'm gonna drag it out, so just hang on a second. This is great. Wait for it. Look at this. This is the original tire. Goodyear wide tread F7015 with another knockoff wheel. A fifth knockoff wheel, which is, I think, proving that this thing came with knockoff wheels. Why would it have a knockoff wheel in the spare if it didn't come with knockoff wheels? This is pretty incredible. And let's look here. Let's look at our numbers. There it is, KH, KELSEY Hayes. That's legit.